While many change the world with inventions or ideas, Henrietta Lacks did so with her body. A contribution taken without her knowledge, her name erased for decades, replaced by a simple four-letter code. This is the story of the woman behind one of medicine's greatest miracles and the fight to reclaim her name. A woman whose cells revolutionized medicine, Henrietta Lacks changed the world with her body. But she never knew it. Her contribution was taken from her, and for decades, her name was erased, replaced by a simple four-letter code dot. This is a story of scientific marvel, ethical challenge, and a family's fight for recognition. Before she was a cell line, she was a person. Henrietta Lacks was a young mother from Virginia who had moved to the bustling community of Turner Station, Maryland. She was the heart of her family, known for her wide smile, her love of dancing, and her perfectly painted red nails. She raised 5 children while her husband worked at the steel yards, and she was, by all accounts, full of life. In 1951, she sought treatment at Johns Hopkins, one of the few top-tier hospitals that would treat Black patients at the time. There, doctors diagnosed her with an extremely aggressive cervical cancer. Unbeknownst to her, a sample of her aggressive cervical cancer cells was taken without consent. The sample was sent to a researcher who was trying to achieve the impossible: grow human cells outside the body. Every attempt before had failed. But Henrietta's cells were different. They didn't die. They grew with ferocious energy, doubling every 24 hours. They were immortal. The researcher labeled the sample HeLa, from the first 2 letters of her first and last names. As the HeLa cells began to change the world, Henrietta Lacks, the woman, was dying. The cancer consumed her, and she passed away in agony at just 31 years old. She was buried in an unmarked grave, her story seemingly over. But her cells lived on, becoming the cornerstone of modern medicine. HeLa cells enabled the polio vaccine, advanced cancer research, forming a multi-billion-dollar industry. Research involving HeLa cells was critical in developing the HPV vaccine, helped demonstrate that humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, led to the development of improved cell culture protocols and practices, which are now widely used in laboratories. Yet, Henrietta's family lived in poverty, unaware of their mother's monumental contribution. They struggled to afford basic health insurance, completely unaware that a part of their mother was still alive and generating immense wealth for corporations. Until 25 years later, when scientists called them asking for blood samples. The family was thrown into a world of confusion and pain. Their mother had been reduced to a product, and they had been left in the dark. For decades, the family fought for recognition, and in 2013, they reached an agreement with the National Institutes of Health, NIH, that gave them some control over how the DNA sequence of HeLa cells would be used. For decades, the world knew of HeLa, but not Henrietta. It was author Rebecca Skloot's book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, that finally returned her name to her story. The discussions sparked by the book contributed to the reevaluation of policies and guidelines surrounding the use of human biological materials, including in biobanks. Johns Hopkins Medicine, where Henrietta Lacks was treated, publicly acknowledged that they could have and should have done more to inform and work with the Lacks family out of respect for their privacy and interests. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. Her story gained widespread recognition through Rebecca Skloot's 2010 nonfiction book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. The book explores Henrietta's life, the scientific impact of HeLa cells, and the ethical dilemmas surrounding their use. It was later adapted into an HBO film. Her legacy is a powerful call to action for respectful, equitable medical research. If Henrietta's story moved you, let's ensure her name and the lessons learned are never forgotten.